Here comes our first customer. Here comes a nice one. Got him. So it's mid-January and the ice has been on these lakes for about 2 months now. And I'll start seeing where people report slower perch bites. And that's not uncommon, especially later in the ice season. So today I thought I'd go over 5 tips to bring more finicky perch on top of the ice. And my first advice is always have a variety of baits available. I saw that fish come in. There was a couple that kind of stared at it, looked at it for a while. I'm using really small baits today, like spikes. But there's some days that these spikes won't do it. Some days they want night crawler. Some days they want that perch eye. So you just never really know what bait is going to be the key bait that day. And I'm sure you've experienced where you've been out. There's a fish right there on the camera right now, where especially mid-January on, you'll get out on the ice and one group is just absolutely slaying the perch and the other group right next to them can't buy a bite. And I think a lot of the times that has to do with the bait that they're using. And it's hard to know what is going to be the hot bait that day. So always have at least 2 or 3 baits that you can cycle through different things, try different things, and see if you can find something that works. Yeah, I just saw my jig come onto the camera. You see me jigging it there. Here comes a fish. So these little guys, let's see if we can take it. Come on. He just pecked at it. I don't want that little one. See if I can get somebody bigger. Okay, that's the one I want. That's this big guy coming in and get it right now. See him come in, look at it. He's nibbling at it. Come on, he's just sniffing it. I'm gonna hold it still. Oh, I missed him. Go back down to him. There's another one, got him. So today maggots are definitely working. And another thing that I'm doing today is I'm using a really, really small tungsten jig. And I've noticed that on the days that they're finicky, that the smaller you can go sometimes, the better on these tungsten jigs. So have a variety of tungsten jigs, even some really teeny tiny ones will really help. So downsize your gear if you're having trouble getting these perch to commit. Oop, there's fish on the drop. That one didn't even get to the bottom. That's a nice one. So that one actually hit on the drop down, which leads to my third tip, which is target perch at different depths. So there are days that those fish that are suspended are not going to be feeding, and some days that's the only fish that are going to be feeding. While other days, the biters are only right at the bottom. So if you're marking fish, especially spread throughout the water column, then try targeting those fish at different depths. See which ones are the biters. That's a good sized fish there. There he is, got him. Perfect. That's a very nice grade of fish. So this little tiny green tungsten is really working out for me. Where's the big fish? Look at those little tiny ones down below there. That's the ones that the big perch will eat. Today I'm not having any problems with them getting to aggressively go after this tungsten jig. But you definitely want to match the hatch on some days. Scuds are a really important part of perch diet here in the Northwest, and so I will oftentimes use a couple scud flies stacked on top of each other. In some lakes, perch fry are their primary diet. Look at these guys, they're like, I want to eat this thing, but it keeps swimming away. So like if I was in Lake Cascade in Idaho, or some of the Columbia Basin reservoirs, the perch there feed primarily on other perch babies, so I would use something that matches a perch fry. Look at that guy, he's trying to bite the camera. That's like Jaws right there. That's the one I want to catch. Yeah, him. Come back around here, buddy. Oh, did not get him. Oh, there's a nice one. There he is, got him. That's a nice school of larger fish there. Now right now I've got a big school underneath my spot, but at some point this school is going to move on and I'll be in a period where I'll be a little bit fewer fish around. And that's when I'll probably deploy a dead stick. So it's always good, especially during a slow bite, to try a dead stick, because some days those jigging lures are not what they want. Like I've noticed today that the larger fish are really just more aggressively going for when I'm not jigging it, whereas the smaller fish are really pursuing it when it's being moved. Of course, I wouldn't know that without that camera. So that's one of the great advantages of the camera, is just being able to see how the fish respond exactly to your fishing tactics. Now, like I said, I have enough consistent action right now that there's really no need for me to run a second rod, but if you find that you're getting 5-10 minute gaps between fish, it's definitely time to bust out that second rod. Have a hole drilled right adjacent to you and run that dead stick down there in the strike zone. Just let it sit there, jig one rod, let the other rod sit there. So if I did need to deploy a second rod today, I'd be running a little scud fly just to my right here. I'd put that rod right here so I could watch the spring bobber. Keep an eye on it since I can't watch it on the camera. And that would allow me to jig right here, watch on camera, and then watch that rod tip here off to my right if I was running a dead stick. And I will do that if these schools move away. Right now I'm able to maintain some of the schools on me. A big part of that is just because when you set the hook on these perch, especially around 20-30 feet deep like I'm fishing today, very oftentimes they will puke up their stomach contents. It kind of creates a little chum cloud down there. It gets the fish going. Here comes a fish from a long way away. Oh, he looks aggressive. He's a nice fish. Oh, look at that aggressive take. There he is, got him. That was awesome. All right, I'm going to wrap up this video with that fish, but I hope these 5 tips help you catch a few more of those finicky late season perch under the ice. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye.